How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Dogecoin update. Now, unfortunately, Doge is testing the yearly support. We need to see this major key level hold up for a bullish reversal for a potential 44-cent bullish target. It remains intact while this key level actually remains support. But my belief is that if 14 cent is lost, that we're going to see a wick fill and that it will head down to 10 cent per Dogecoin token. Now, as there was previously a bounce here, you could argue that is where it could bounce again. Absolutely. But this current support becomes resistance. If it taps into that area, this could just be retested now as resistance for continuation even lower into a bear market scenario, with this being the dead cat bounce to enter the bear cycle. This can all be invalidated, and this doesn't have to play out so long as 14 cent remains support. So it's Dogecoin's job right now to reverse from here. It's only going to come with the help of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is in a bounce location similar to other altcoins, including Dogecoin. So if the market wants to continue bullish, if you want to see new highs, Dogecoin and specifically Bitcoin needs to reverse from here. Bitcoin needs to check out my Bitcoin video, but to summarize, it needs to reverse from 87 to 91k. For Dogecoin, that's 14 cents. If this is lost, it's a major warning signal of entering the bear cycle. Technically speaking, we can fill in this wick, we can bounce and recover this. But the true trend and the high probability chances, and it's all probabilities here. We've got bearish signals, we've got bearish crosses, we've got a major key level of support potentially lost. It's the support of this year. You don't want it to be lost going into the end of this year. That will send major signals. We're going to tap into 9 to 11 cent. The bounce is most likely going to retest this yearly support now as a yearly resistance, maybe not seen for a few years as we enter the bear cycle. So there's so much weight on this level being the bottom, or if it's lost, it has to be a deviation. But remember, if this is lost, the probability chances are likelier for the bear market rather than a recovery. It's much easier for it to recover from here. It was much easier to actually pump from here, but it lost that. So this is where it starts getting bearish. The probability chances start increasing for the bears and worsen for the bullish breakout. Once this was lost, is the bullish breakout, are the probabilities still there? Yes, while this still holds. Technically, yes, even while this still holds. But they worsen and lessen with each support that is lost, because that then becomes a resistance that needs to be flipped back into support. So when we tapped into this area, it could have recovered this area to continue high. It uses as resistance to continue low. That's now another level, and this is another level it must recover. Pumps into that, fails to recover. That's now another level it needs to recover. Look how many levels it now needs to recover. The job becomes harder and less likelier. And what becomes more likely is just continuation lower. So that is just how it works. It's just black and white rules, support and resistance, but just more advanced because the Fibonacci's are just placing the Fibonacci's on major moves. And it's just marking out all the major key levels of support for you guys. That is exactly why it bounced from here. Once this area was lost, the next target is here. This was lost, tapped into here. That's the next bounce. So it was coming down. It bounced from this location at first. It was lost, came into the next area over here, bounced, was lost, came into the next area over here, bounced, and it's potentially going to get lost to dump down into the next area, which would be bear market targets, of course, but really needs to reverse from here and recover all these major key levels of resistance to target 44 cent. You can argue this is a macro bullish double bottom. That's only going to happen with Bitcoin bottoming out at 87 to 91k. Otherwise, unfortunately, guys, there's high possibilities of the bearish trend continuing, losing this major yearly support and entering a bear cycle. Not what you want to hear. I don't care. It's just the chart. Like, subscribe, comment, share. I'll see you in the next one. If you want to get educated, use the links down below.